What if your entire life could change just by mastering your emotions? Most people are controlled by anger, fear, and doubt without even knowing it. But those who learn to respond, not react, quietly rise above the chaos. Why stay a slave to feelings when you could rule with calm clarity? In just a few moments, I will teach you how to control your emotions and with it, take full control of your life. You are not your emotions, you are the commander of them. Have you ever felt a storm rage inside you, only to act in a way you later regret? Anger, fear, jealousy? These are not foreign invaders. They are your servants, not your masters. But when you forget this, you place your destiny into the hands of impulse. And once that happens, you stop choosing your path. You let it be chosen for you by forces that don't care where you end up. These emotional impulses were given to you for a reason. They are tools, not tyrants. Fire can warm your home or burn it down, and so too can anger ignite courage or destroy your peace. Most men allow emotion to ride them like a runaway horse. Few learn to take the reins. You begin by stilling your mind in moments of stress. Breathe, count, step back before you speak, reflect before you decide, and ask, what is the outcome I truly desire here? Imagine a general in war charging blindly into battle every time he's provoked. He'd lose not only battles, but the entire war. Are you doing the same in your daily life? Do you react or do you respond? One creates chaos, the other builds empires. So I ask you now, will you ride your emotions or let them ride you? You cannot build a life while drowning in mood swings. One day you wake up inspired. The next, you're in despair. Today you act with discipline. Tomorrow you don't even get out of bed. This seesaw of emotion is what keeps most men average. You know what to do, but only feel like doing it half the time. And that half is never enough. The truth is this: success doesn't belong to the most talented. It belongs to the most stable. If your moods decide your actions, then your future belongs to chance. Why let your feelings dictate whether or not you do your work, speak your truth, or follow through? That is not freedom. That is slavery, emotional slavery. Stability is not a gift. It is a habit. You must train it like a muscle. Build daily rituals. Create unbreakable routines. Tie your work to principle, not to mood. Picture a farmer who plants only on sunny days. He'd never harvest. Nature rewards those who work regardless of the weather. Life is no different. Do you want to feel better or do you want to be better? Choose stability. Choose the higher ground. Because while emotions change, excellence does not. Calm is a competitive advantage. In a world full of short tempers and loud opinions, calmness is your secret weapon. Most men today are quick to boil, snapping over traffic, criticism, or delay. But the man who stays calm when the pressure mounts becomes magnetic. He thinks clearly. He moves with purpose. He chooses his words like a surgeon selects his tools, with precision. And because of that, he doesn't just survive chaos, he masters it. The loudest man in the room isn't the strongest, he's usually the weakest. A slave to his emotions. He reacts because he lacks control. But the quiet man, the still one who observes, who waits, who speaks only when needed, he commands respect, not by volume, but by presence. You don't lead with noise, you lead with nerve. And nerve is built in silence, not in shouting. Staying calm is not about suppressing your emotions. It's about transforming them. When you suppress, you bury energy that only comes back later. But when you understand your triggers and rise above them, you evolve. Observe yourself like a scientist. What irritates you? Why does it bother you so deeply? Question everything. Does reacting here help me win, or does it just drain me? Most of the time, you'll find it's your ego, not your values, screaming for attention. Picture a courtroom. Two men are accused falsely. One explodes, argues with the judge, and earns a contempt charge. The other man stays composed. He speaks slowly, clearly. Everyone listens. Why? Because calmness is a signal of strength. Emotional restraint is a display of power. It says, I don't need to flinch to prove myself. And that makes people listen and follow. Power respects control. Control starts with calm. Life gives you these quiet tests daily. The rude waiter, the slow internet, the friend who talks over you. You could blow up, or you could smile and endure, not because you're weak, but because you're focused on a bigger prize. Every moment you stay calm under pressure, you train your mind to win. You train yourself to be unshakable, and unshakable men shape the world, while others are tossed by it. This power is not reserved for the elite or the chosen few. It's available to any man if he chooses to master himself. Calmness is not something you wait for. It's something you decide to practice. You don't get calm by chance. You get calm by commitment, by choosing every day to respond instead of react, to think instead of panic, to endure instead of erupt. That is real power. That is the edge. And it's waiting for you right now. You don't need to feel ready to begin. You need to begin to feel ready. Too many men wait. They wait for the right mood, the perfect motivation, the spark of inspiration that never comes. They sit idle, hoping to feel like it. But emotion is as unreliable as weather in a stormy land. It changes without warning. It doesn't ask for your permission. And if you depend on it to move forward, you may sit still forever, because feelings lie. They tell you you're not ready, not capable, not strong enough, until it's too late to act. Readiness, as most understand it, is a myth, a trick of the mind that whispers, wait a little longer. But those who achieve anything of value know the truth. Readiness is created through action. You don't wait until you feel brave. You act and bravery grows. You don't wait to be confident. You move and confidence follows behavior, not the other way around. Greatness is not born in comfort. It's forged in discomfort, in motion, in decision. Imagine a man in the wilderness, freezing. He doesn't wait for warmth to appear. He strikes stone on steel again and again until a spark becomes flame, until flame becomes fire. That is how strength is built. Not by wishing, but by working. Not by waiting, but by moving. The first spark is your decision. So how do you begin? You do the thing you least want to do. You rise from the chair when your body begs to rest. You speak the difficult truth when silence would be easier. You write the words, make the call, show up to the fight, not because you feel strong, but because it is the right thing to do. And when you take that step, something shifts inside. Momentum takes over. Energy grows. Doubt fades. Picture the craftsman. Every morning, tired or not, he sharpens his blade. He doesn't wait to feel like it. He sharpens because one day that blade might save his life. One day that preparation might be the only thing between survival and ruin. That's how you must treat your mind, your habits, your discipline. They are tools, and tools rust when left untouched. You either sharpen them daily or you let them dull through delay. The key is simple. If you want to feel better, act better. If you want to feel prepared, start preparing. You will not feel like it. You will not always be inspired. That doesn't matter. What matters is whether you move anyway, because when you act, you ignite something inside, a small flame that says, I don't need to wait. I make my own weather. So the question remains, will you move today or make another excuse? You already know what to do. You don't need another sign. You need to move. Let courage follow your step. Let confidence follow your work, because action is the spark. Everything else comes after. Resentment is a chain. Forgiveness is the key. When you hold on to past wrongs, you do not wound your enemies, you wound yourself. You carry poison in your bloodstream, hoping it will destroy someone else. But it only corrupts your peace, your energy, your strength. The man who replays betrayal in his mind becomes trapped in a story that no longer serves him. He wastes today trying to rewrite yesterday, and as long as he does that, he will never move forward. He remains stuck, not by the past, but by his refusal to release it. You are not built to carry every insult and injury. Life was not designed for you to drag bitterness like a sack across every mile. That weight breaks your back, not theirs. That hatred clouds your mind, not theirs. Forgiveness is not some favor you give to those who wronged you. It is a form of self-preservation, of mental clarity and spiritual strength. So why do so many hold on to grudges? Because pride whispers that to forgive is to lose. Pride says letting go means you are weak. But this is a lie dressed as honor. Forgiveness isn't surrender, it's strategy. It's not about forgetting, it's about refusing to be controlled. When you forgive, you regain control of your mind, your focus, your energy. You stop allowing another's offense to define your state of being. That is not weakness, that is power. You forgive not to excuse them, but to set yourself free. You reclaim your time, your thoughts, and your future. Bitterness steals. It robs your sleep, your motivation, your joy. It leaves you reactive, sensitive, and stuck. But forgiveness clears the slate. It brings your attention back to you, to your discipline, your destiny, your higher self. And that return is the beginning of true strength. Visualize a man rowing a boat with an anchor dragging behind him. He rows harder, faster, trying to gain ground. But no matter how strong he is, he gets nowhere. That anchor is resentment. Every grudge, every insult, every wound you refuse to release, it drags behind you, and no amount of effort can outrun it. Your forward momentum is chained to what you won't let go. Forgiveness is how you cut that chain. The future cannot flourish while your hands are full of old pain, and the mind cannot build when it is busy reliving battles long finished. Forgiveness is not forgetting, it's choosing to remember without reliving. It is seeing the scar and saying, yes, it happened, but it no longer holds me. You reclaim your attention, and with it, your ability to act decisively in the present rather than react based on the past. Ask yourself, are you willing to truly be free? Then stop rehearsing the hurt. Stop polishing your pain like a trophy. Every time you revisit the insult, you breathe life back into what should have died. Your past deserves reflection, not residence. You're not meant to live there. Your strength, your future, your peace, they all exist ahead, not behind. So now the decision stands before you. Will you stay chained to old injuries, walking circles around the same bitterness? Or will you pick up the key, unlock the door, and walk free? Forgiveness is that key. Not for them, for you. Set yourself free. The road ahead is waiting. Reaction is easy. Response is power. You are provoked. Your pride rises like fire. Your breath shortens. Your heart pounds. Your hands clench. Your voice, louder than you intended, says something you wish you could take back. But the damage is done. Why? Because for a few seconds, you chose the illusion of victory, the petty satisfaction of being right, over the lasting value of peace. You won the moment and lost yourself. This is the trap of reaction. It's impulsive, instant, and deeply costly. Reaction is your default setting and your greatest enemy. Anyone can react. It takes no training, no discipline, no strength. It's animalistic, it's emotional. But to respond, that requires power. That requires a mind that refuses to be dragged like a puppet by every offense or slight. Response is discipline in motion. It's control wearing the mask of calm. When you respond instead of react, you create space. That space is everything. It is the sacred gap between the trigger and your choice. In that gap, your future is shaped. Most men live without it. They move from event to explosion with no awareness in between. But the one who can pause, breathe, and choose, that man becomes unstoppable. That man builds rather than destroys. It begins with a simple, powerful act, the pause. Not a retreat, not passivity. A calm inner stillness, a breath that interrupts the storm. A question, what do I really want here? Do I want to escalate this conflict or diffuse it? Do I want short-term pride or long-term peace? That single moment of inquiry can alter everything. It can prevent regret, invite wisdom, and deliver results. Picture the blacksmith. He doesn't slam his hammer blindly. He heats the iron. He waits. He watches. He studies its glow. Then, and only then, does he strike. And the strike is perfect. That is the difference between chaos and creation, between wasted energy and focused force. You are no different. If you hit too early or from emotion alone, you miss the mark. But when you respond with purpose, your impact is precise. So ask yourself now, are you creating or destroying? When someone disrespects you, do you rise to their level or rise above it? When tension rises, do you add fuel to the fire or do you become the water? Greatness does not come from explosive power, but from measured strength. A mind that can withstand insult without collapse is a mind ready to shape empires. Mastery over life begins with mastery over self. You cannot lead others, build a legacy, or walk with purpose if you are constantly hijacked by emotions. You must own your reaction, not let your reaction own you. You must be able to stand in the face of chaos and choose clarity. That is emotional intelligence. That is spiritual strength. That is the foundation of power. So I ask you again, will you explode or will you elevate? One burns bridges, the other builds them. One keeps you trapped in small battles, the other positions you for long-term victory. The choice is yours. Reaction is easy. Response is earned. Choose the higher ground and become the man who commands not just the moment, but himself. Control your tone, control the outcome. A man may have truth, logic, and evidence on his side and still lose the room. Not because his message was wrong, but because his delivery was. The way you speak carries as much weight as what you say. Emotion in your voice can blur the wisdom in your words. Raised voices provoke resistance. Sharp tones cut deeper than intended. And once trust is cut, even the truth bleeds out. If you cannot stay calm under verbal pressure, then pressure speaks for you. It hijacks your tone, tightens your throat, and replaces your message with your emotions. The room doesn't remember your insight, only your intensity. This is where most men fall. They mistake loudness for strength and anger for authority. But the real leader, the one who moves minds, does so with measured calm. When your voice remains steady, even when your heart races or your pride is under fire, you command the atmosphere. You signal control. Others lean in, not because you're louder, but because you're anchored. A calm voice becomes a bridge, not a blade. It invites dialogue. It shifts tension. It makes people want to listen and feel safe enough to agree. This is not weakness. It is tactical strength. Make it a habit. When your temper rises, lower your voice. The quieter you speak, the more others must tune in. When you feel misunderstood, clarify. Don't shout. Shouting makes your point smaller, not louder. When you're accused, ask questions. Curiosity disarms aggression. It signals confidence, not panic. Your calm tone becomes proof that you are not shaken, not reactive, not owned by the moment. Picture two men arguing over a debt. One is shouting, hands waving, face flushed. The other listens quietly. He nods. He speaks slowly, with no edge in his voice. He explains. Maybe he disagrees. Maybe he makes his point. But who commands more respect? Who seems like the one in control? It's not the louder man, it's the clearer one. And clarity walks hand in hand with calm. Your tone is not decoration, it's strategy. It reveals how deeply rooted you are. A shallow man reacts. A grounded man responds. Every word you say is carried on the river of your tone. And if that river is turbulent, your meaning drowns. If it's smooth, your message travels farther. Leaders don't just speak facts. They shape tone like a weapon and a shield. If you're struggling to be heard, to be respected, to be taken seriously, perhaps it's not your message that's the problem. It might be your tone. Are you reacting from the pit or speaking from the mountain? One echoes with desperation. The other resonates with vision. One stirs defensiveness. The other inspires trust. The world does not need more men who shout to be understood. It needs men who speak with depth, who understand that a calm voice in conflict is more powerful than any argument won in rage. Your tone is your legacy in every conversation. It determines how people remember you, not just what they heard, but how you made them feel. So raise your thinking and lower your tone. That's how real leaders move hearts, win trust, and shift outcomes. Speak not to prove your strength, but to reveal it. Calm is louder than anger. Silence often speaks louder than noise. And the man who speaks with control speaks with undeniable authority. The strongest man is the one who can wait. You want it now, the solution, the win, the recognition, the revenge. But real power isn't proven in how fast you move. It's proven in how long you can wait without losing your edge. The world rushes to act. The wise man waits, watches, and then strikes with precision. In haste, people trip over their own ambition. In patience, you gather insight, power, and advantage. The man who can wait without dulling his hunger becomes a silent storm. Impatience is the child of fear. It whispers, act now or lose everything. But patience is the companion of confidence. It says, I don't need to rush. My moment will come. Every time you act in desperation, you leak power. But every time you pause, observe, and plan, you build it. Real confidence isn't loud or frantic. It's still, measured, and rooted in knowing, not in needing. The modern world rewards speed, fast money, fast fame, fast decisions. But what it rarely shows is the cost of that speed: regret, failure, and missed lessons. The wise man knows better. He sharpens his sword before battle. He reads the room before speaking. He studies the terrain before stepping forward. Every second he waits, he becomes more prepared, not less powerful. He plays the long game, not the loud one. Waiting is not weakness, it's a weapon. You are not retreating, you are loading. You are not hesitating, you are calculating. Your silence is not submission. It is a signal that you are thinking, watching, and choosing. The one who waits does not waste energy, he conserves it. And when the moment arrives, he uses it like a blade, clean and direct. Can you remain still while others move in panic? Can you listen without needing to speak? Can you walk away from a fight your pride begs you to win? These are the tests. These are the quiet battles that determine if you are ruled by ego or if you are guided by purpose. The one who passes these tests becomes dangerous because he moves only when it matters. Picture a hunter in the woods. He hears a rustle. He draws his bow, but does not fire. He waits, watches. He lets the moment ripen. Then, with full control, he releases. The shot is clean. The victory is earned. That's not luck. That's patience refined into lethal accuracy. He's not reacting, he's responding. That's the difference between amateur